is.
All right, thank you everyone for coming to the last briefing of the fall 2016 year. So our president for Campus Weather Service for the next school year is going to be Andy Moffitt. So he'll be taking over this next semester and into the fall. So look for an email from him soon about signups, and he'll be leading these next semesters. So thank you all for your attendance this fall through the briefing. Really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our speakers. As per tradition, Rich Grumm from the National Weather Service here at State College leads the first one and the last one of the semester. So Rich Grumm will take it away.
Thanks. Thanks for the semester. So the radar kind of says it all, doesn't it? We got cold air coming to the lakes, and there's some lake effect snow that's already kicked in on the flow over the lakes, and there's some snow showers and actually some flurries here in town. I think the visual image kind of shows it too. You can see the clouds, the cold air in the clouds that have been resulting clouds over the Great Lakes. That'll be the dominant weather issue for the next few days, I guess. So I will kill this, and I will kill that. And did you play this already? Did you look at this? No. So this is the last map disco of the semester. So we'll see what's going to unfold. And bring out the disco music. So let's get going. So we have the first truly. I guess it's. I don't know, it's not quite minus 20, but close to as Arctic air mass as you get these days coming through the region in the next 12 to 24 hours. So there'll be some cold days, and clearly they're making snow over in Tuscany. I'm sure other ski resorts are making snow. And clearly there's a lake effect snow event. It's probably going to be the first really big snow, the biggest snow event to date, maybe across the lakes over the next few days. There's a precipitation ahead of the next Arctic surge. I just looked at the GFS, but the GFS doesn't look that impressive because of blending 21 models. It doesn't look really impressive, but the precipitation stripe just has that Clipper-esque look to it. The GFS, once the low is eventually to track to our north and west, which probably means it would get really ugly here if it happened. But generally, it's a cold forecast, and we're going to have some minus 20 to 24, minus 24 C air potentially move into the United States, at least not quite here, next week with the second cold shot, which looks colder than the first. And then we'll take a peek ahead in time here. So this is kind of like a large-scale pendulum. I used the NACE, and you can see there's above an anomalously strong trough coming through the Great Lakes this morning. And you can see there's a lot of cold air draining down the west slopes of the Rocky Mountains, and the 850 temperatures in our area are below zero, but the abnormally cold air is shunted off to our west, but it's headed our way. And then this is what it's supposed to look like tomorrow afternoon. The trough already should be biased, more northwesterly flow over the Great Lakes in our region, and the cold air settles down into the eastern United States, so we're in the blue zone for loading. I can't find the mouse on this thing. And, am I blind? I am blind. When you try what do you call progressive lenses, this little screen is kind of hard to see, but I guess the mouse. I'm having trouble with the mouse. I'm glad I'm not a cat because I can't find them. So you can see below normal temperatures at 850. So it's going to be cold tomorrow, obviously. And then this peaks ahead to the air mass that's supposed to be in almost exactly a week later. It looks very similar, except there's a minus 16 contour over just to our north, and there's some minus 24 degrees C at 850 kind of grays in the northern lakes. Although the trough is very, very broad, but it's clearly a big. I guess the whole polar vortex or part of it is broken up into our hemisphere, so it's pushed the cold air to the south. So basically, Friday this week and Friday next week will look quite similar. It'll be chilly. So this is the first cold surge over the lakes, and this is the GEFS on the half-degree data showing the peak of the cold air. This is Friday morning, and we're in the minus 12 area. And I think I checked, the lakes are around, depending where you are on the lakes, they're between 41 and about 48, 49 degrees, so they're pretty darn warm. And so we got minus 12, and the old rule of thumb says it should be a reasonable lake effect event. Of course, the most anomalously cold air goes into the south, and you can see the flow on the other side is from the, initially it's from the northwest, and then you can see the northwest flow, and then you can see the cold air is still there on Friday morning. So this is the NCAR 3 kilometer ensemble, trying to see how it would do for lake effect snow, and I did the greater than 3 inches and within a 25-mile nearest neighborhood probability. You can see it's showing kind of a southwest-oriented band along Lake Erie, up in northwest Pennsylvania, across New York State, and then into the Tug Hill Plateau. Obviously, this lake effect being forecast all over the lakes with the cold air. Nankar and Ensemble and her seem to want to imply that much of the not really big lake effect amounts until you get more westerly, southwesterly flow along the lake shores. But it looks like northwesterly flow should dominate early on, and it just shows the probability of 6 inches. So it's a pretty. This ensemble is not really robust in Pennsylvania for 6 inches of snow from this lake effect event, but it likes the Tug Hill Plateau. I don't know if anybody uses this ensemble or not, but I did actually turn on. Which we use in Firefox?
No, it's the bottom one there.
This one?
One that's titled Loop, I think.
Loop, this thing here?
You click on the Google Chrome again.
Okay.
The bottom list, that one.
All right. So what I have here, this is the time lagged HER ensemble, the hurdle. You have to jump over a few things to get to the hurdle, but there it is. And this is the probability of 6 inches, and it's got some hints of some 6-inch probabilities, and actually it's really strong with uptime over northwest Pennsylvania and over the Tug Hill Plateau. It's got nice lake effect over Lake Michigan, and this is the probability of greater than 3 in 6 hours. So, and this one was greater than 1. So, good chance of 1 inch of snow, and not as good a chance of 3 inches of snow in the HER time-lag ensemble. This is a pretty good forecasting tool that's just evolving. Anybody here look at the hurdle at all? They're the low hurdles, so they're easier to jump over. The high hurdles, I've always avoided those. So, and the hurdle only goes out to like 18 to 24 hours. So that's what the page is, in case you're interested. But it's linkable, I think, off this. And we'll go back to the PowerPoint. So we kind of covered this over same kind of results as the HER, kind of focusing the northwest Pennsylvania and New York. So we're not going to see any significant snow here. This is their probability of 6 inches in the 25-mile radius. And this is the entire, it's cumulative, it runs through the whole forecast line. So it could be some places that have maybe a 70–80% chance of 6 inches of snow in northwest PA, but it won't affect us. And this is just sort of like the total accumulated snowfall. You can see just to the lee of the lakes like you'd expect. I didn't provide a sounding, but I know that the boundary is pretty deep, the inversion is pretty high. It's a pretty good setup for lake effect snow. And this thing doesn't even show anything for us. Like, at least it's got some gray stuff across, the Catskills, but nothing here. So, and then I go into the lower amount here, and you can see that when the times change, you get a little hint. Maybe we'll get some gray flurries here, but nothing to write home about. So all the snow will be close to the lakes. So this is a plume diagram from Bradford from the SREF. And the SREF is about 16 kilometers now. And it's picking up hints of the lake effect. And I'm sure it just basically says it's going to snow, to the weekend. So it accumulates, about 0.5 liquid and a lot of little amounts of snow. So, but it looks like if you do 20 to 1, it could be a foot of snow there. It'd be really fluffy. But when you average all these things together, each member though actually has pretty good snow. But it looks like the SREF is pretty confident it's going to be a enduring lake effect event, and it gets to Bradford, and at least it's SREF's atmosphere. So ours does not look as impressive. So this is a 6Z. I have to be mindful of that. It's a 6Z, and this shows the precipitation for the next 8 days. It shows we need to get some flurries here, and then we have an increased chance of snow over the weekend, and then we get hit by the ugly stick sometime between the 12th and 13th, where we got every kind of precipitation the model can generate. And you can see, if you look carefully at that plume, there's timing issues, there's amount issues, there's type issues. The model has a lot of issues. So, but then you can see there's actually a hint of even a third QPF event. So most people are probably interested in the first surge and over the weekend, what that's going to do. But interestingly enough, if you look at the HER, the GEFS 2-meter temperature forecast, the cyan line is the 32-degree isotherm. We're forecast to be a little bit cold, and anybody who used the GFS knows that GFS has a bit of a cold bias, so we might be a little warmer than that. I took a chance on that cold bias, and I got in 18 miles on my bike yesterday, so it worked out pretty good for me. But then you can see it shows the next surge to Arctic air is going to be cold. And I'm sure if you bias corrected this a little bit, it wouldn't be quite as chilly. And you can see the 850 temperatures in most of the members in this set stay below the 0 line. There's a few that go above it. If we'll look briefly at the GFS, and I just looked at I peeked at the 12Z GFS. It implies that a low is going to go to our west, and that should bring the warm air in. And that would definitely at least mix us enough changes how much rain in that precipitation event. And at 700, we kind of have a few members that show we might go above 0 too. So any precipitation event, it could end up being ugly. So we have this wave. This is the 6Z GEFS, and it's got a hint of a wave going to the Great Lakes Monday afternoon. And in the mean, it's pretty washed out, which you'd expect. And the 850s are noise, but in the mean, we're below 0 at 850. So, and then this shows the QPF, and that QPF, if you look at it, has that nice streak, kind of a northern stream wave coming off. So it's got that nice kind of, clipper-looking precipitation shield, which kind of weakens and falls apart when it gets here, but depending on the model. But some of the models show even the mean potential for a quarter to a half, and you multiply that by the bias in the GFS, and I say probably a 0.3-inch QPF event potential right now. And this just shows the 6Z run of the GFS, the deterministic model, and it's got that nice stripe of precip that comes out of the Dakotas and comes right across, showing that kind of clipper-esque look to it and stuff. But it's got about it's about a quarter to half inch over us. So before we move on to that, we'll see if we can get this thing to come up. I don't think the GEFS is in yet, the 12Z, but we can try. No. So we'll look at the GFS briefly because it has the precipitation event in it. And I'll have to make this bigger screen because these are ginormous fonts. But so this is the GEFS. The lower panel will show any precipitation that the model forecast. And you can see the northwest flow in the beginning of the event coming over the Great Lakes, nice northwest flow. And the high finally begins to move in tomorrow, overnight tonight, tomorrow. So but it goes to the south and west of the lakes. So the lake effect will continue. You can see that over time, the GFS QPF shield implies a connection between Huron and Lake Erie. So it enhances the lake effect snow coming off Lake Erie. And then the big anticyclone goes to the south and east of us. By the way, I didn't show it. This high starts out about 1048. Started about 1048 in the last. It was a really big high. And then you can see the wave now coming in to our west in this domain. There's a wave finally coming out. It looks like it's pretty far south, and it's going to track right up into the southern Ontario. And if that happened, we would flood with warm air, at least in the mid-levels and aloft. We might stay cold in the boundary. It could be actually quite ugly with this. This is 0Z the 13th. What's that? Sunday evening. So we'd probably start out as snow if that verified. This is a much deeper cyclone solution than in the 6Z run, by the way. And then and it doesn't look like a clipper. It looks like it comes out of the southern stream, but the wave is more of a clipper. And the rule of clippers, if you want to get heavy snow, the clipper's got to pass to your south. So this doesn't even obey the rule of clippers. So it's a shame. But so we'll go back, hit the F11. So we have to worry about that clipper, and it was going to be a snow to mixed event, probably freezing rain. And then behind the clipper, when it finally clears out, a second surge of cold air starts to come in, and this just shows this is the GEFS BC. I showed the NAIFs earlier, and this shows the high. It's 18Z on Friday. That's 15Z on that's 18Z on Thursday. So you can see. That's the 15th, and this is the 16th. And you can see that a pretty good surge of cold air, -16. That would be another good lake effect event. We'd be obviously below normal. It'd be a really chilly day. That's the coldest air events probably of the year for us for this coming winter. And you can see in the GEFS BC, the -24 contour does make it into the United States. That's a bona fide Arctic air mass as forecast. So from to infinity and beyond. This is the forecast for the 18Z, the 23rd. Everybody will be home or where they want to be or headed to some place special because most people want to be somewhere on the 24th and 25th of this month. I've never figured out why. But anyway, we're going to have a mean trough over the United States. We'll be closed like 5040 low, kind of like just over northern Hudson's Bay, just fairly far north. But in the mean is a big trough over almost all of North America. You can see the A50 temperatures are near normal, but the model's probably 10 over towards final. There's some yellow zones showing some warmer air from the southwest and over the oceans. But we're in the dash lines, and the dash lines are for below zero air quality. So I think we're about, what, -8 at this time. So there's nothing really great shakes. It's kind of flat. There is a potential storm in the GEFS and the NAPES somewhere around the 19th or 20th. And you know, how that tracks and how that goes will probably dictate, A, how much snow we pick up with this storm Saturday and Sunday, how much that stays around as it gets washed away. And if this 19th and 20th storm follows the same track, it could pick up a little more snow or maybe some snow, and it'll probably, but as forecast, it would probably also track, change to sleet and rain, and I don't know how cold it gets behind it. So whether there's a white Christmas here locally is going to depend on these two potential events. I have very little confidence in the 19th and 20th event because it's like a long way out. But the key thing about both storms is, especially the bigger storm that's implied in some of the guidance later, right before Christmas, right before the solar winter kicks in, is it looks like we have a classic La Nina storm track with lows going up, toward the Ohio Valley, lows tracking to the west. So this winter is starting out like a La Nina winter. I think everybody probably would agree with that. I haven't seen anything even intimate coming up the East Coast. There's no hints of anything coming up the East Coast for now, for track. So it looks very La Nina-esque. So in summary, we have our first truly Arctic air mass, and we're probably going to get double whammy. So maybe we can go skiing on Sunday. So won't be skiing in the woods, I can tell you that. But it's clearly going to be an LAS event to the north and west of us. If the flow's north enough, we'll get some probably in the Evansburg and higher train in the southwest PA. We'll get flurries here, and then the question will be the event that comes through this late this week and early next week, and then the surge ahead of the Arctic front. How much snow can we pick up? We're clearly going to see some snow probably Sunday, and then we'll probably mix and see some ugly stuff on the Monday timeframe. And then there's some potential, for a storm just before Christmas. But I think it's going to go to our west as forecast, but it may not even be there. Any questions? Answers. I like answers. That's it? Well, thank you.
Do you guys have any other questions or comments? If not, we'll see you guys in the spring. Everyone have a good break and good luck on finals.
Most people are going to come back in the winter, I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be back up. Oh, yeah, next Wednesday I'll do my contest before the Vegas series.
What's with the sweatshirt, dude?
I bleed Scarlet Gray. That's all there is to it.